All right, we should be live. Welcome, welcome. This is the first stream back in a week. Didn't really think that would happen, but you know, it is what it is. Today, we're going to be doing stuff a little differently. So I'm not starting out with Odin like usual, but I've kind of been chipping away at a project on the side. Which is essentially my own, I'm defining my own tech stack properly because I was kind of doing it very ad hoc on stream and I didn't like that process. So, hold on, I'm just adjusting my headphones. There we go. Yeah, so I didn't really like that process. I wanted to have something more streamlined that I could reuse. And maybe other people could use too. I don't really care if anyone uses this. This is basically just for myself. But I was doing some research on what elements I'd like to have. So PNPM I chose as the package manager because it's the package manager I've been using. And as far as I can tell anyway, it's basically just NPM but faster, more modern, and doesn't actually fully download every single dependency unless it's needed, I think, or something like that. I might be mistaken on that piece, but it's basically a more modern, faster version of NPM, and it's also more secure, as far as I know. So for the front end, this won't be a surprise. Using React and Vite, React with Vite as the builder, which is kind of aligned with what I've been learning in Odin anyway. I'm gonna leave the UI library alone. Maybe I'll use ShadCN. Maybe leave it up to yo, Tyler, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. We are. I'm doing stuff a little differently today. I'm defining my own stack, which I spent the last few days working on. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm going to build a simple to-do app with it just to test it. But I was sick and tired of like just shifting through stuff on every stream. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to come up with something that I like. Right, that's simple and like kind of uses the monorepo stuff that I was learning before, and yeah, so I did a lot of thinking on it, and I'm calling it BenStack as you will, version 1 because I don't know, maybe I'll iterate on it in the future. But no, it's literally just a template with like these different things. So for the back end, the API will be Hano. Which Hano I didn't know about before, but Hano I guess is a more modern, simpler version of Express essentially. It seems similar anyway, but I kind of was reading through the docs a little bit, and yeah, it seems Hano's a simple web application framework similar to Express without a front end. So I don't know. I was just like kind of looking through it. It seems it's more modern. It works with all of these different JS runtimes, totally different time zones. When you start streaming, I go to sleep. It's a waste, man. I was just programming in Vue. Wait, what's a waste, Ayub? I stream when I can stream, though, Like, unfortunately, I know it doesn't work for everyone's time zone, but, I got to do what I can, I guess. But you can always watch the VOD at any time after. But anyway, so I'm going to be using Hano for the back end. I also really like how simple this is, right? So it gives, the only thing is it's not really a request response. It kind of gives you this like context, which is like something that's a little new. But I'm willing to dive into it and learn it. Not catching with you coding.
You didn't get to see you live.
Huh?
We didn't get to see you live. He's saying that's what
Oh, I see, yeah. Yo, how's it going, Consolo? Sorry, my girlfriend's working over here, so if you hear her, she's, yeah, we're both, well, I'm getting over it, but I gave my illness to, I gave my illness to her, so. I have to go BBQ some pork, but I'll be around if you're still here when I get back. Awesome, Tyler. I appreciate that. I hope it's good. We had some pan-seared chicken breasts tonight, which was good. Some rice and vegetables. But yeah, no, I appreciate the lurk. But yeah, I hope that goes well. Yeah, it was good. It was a kind of easy meal too. But anyway, so I'm going to be using Hano because it's more modern and I want to explore it. So that's that idea. And then for the database, I'm using Postgres. That's not really a surprise. I want to learn Docker as well. I'm probably not going to do the Docker like compose or whatever it is yet because I haven't really like had time to dig into Docker, and I want to set aside some time. So maybe I'll do that in like version 1.1 or something, where I include like a Docker compose with this template or whatever it is. And I'm going to be using Drizzle for the ORM. And the reason for that is because Prisma apparently is a lot more bloated and heavier than Drizzle. Drizzle is light and it's more SQL based, like the schema definitions are more SQL. Again, it's kind of like similar to Prisma anyway, but I was like, you know what? I was kind of doing some cross comparisons, and I'm like, I think Drizzle makes a little bit more sense. It's a little leaner. It doesn't have all this crap with like where Prisma like tries to get you to like, I think you can like rent compute from it or something. And I don't know. I don't really want all that stuff, so I'm using Drizzle. It's not to say I'll never come back to Prisma, but I like the simplicity of Drizzle. And then Zod is a validator, which Satyam in the last stream mentioned, or at least I think so. That's where I got that from, and then I did some digging into that. And then for authentication, I'm thinking of just rolling my own for like basic apps. But like if I'm going to use anything legit, like if I'm going to use the stack to make anything serious, like that requires like OAuth stuff, then I'm probably going to use BetterAuth as we have been. But BetterAuth I think works with Hano, so I'm like 90% sure it works with Hano. So we should be fine. I can actually verify that right now. Yep, it does have Hano integration. Perfect. So cool. So yeah, if I want to use BetterAuth, I can. Kind of leave that up to the user or whatever. So I was looking at some example mono repos on GitHub and doing some searching. So they kind of have this like apps and then packages delineation, which is kind of interesting. And of course you have your like base package, for the whole mono repo. And then I have some basic scripts defined here. I don't have the build scripts defined yet, which I probably should. And then and that's kind of the thing too, is I didn't include Turbo in this because honestly, like I get it, but it seems like a little bit overkill for like just beginner like small projects, and that's kind of what this stack is for anyway, right? Just like basic small learning projects that aren't really anything serious. Maybe it could evolve into that someday or something, I don't know, but this is mainly tailored to my learning, and kind of my preferences for the different like frameworks that I want to use, like with front end, back end, and stuff like that. I know React's kind of heavy, but I've already put probably over 100 hours into learning React anyway, so I might as well stick with it. So anyway, I have the main package.json here, and then like the shared ts config, all these things, and then like a .env as well. It just has a database URL. I need to make more things in here. Like this isn't by any means finished, but I was thinking of at least, writing the README for this on stream so that you can kind of, see what it contains, what our package manager contains, or not package manager, what our stack contains. I don't know why I said package manager. And then basically use that as a template on my GitHub or whatever, and then start making a to-do app with this template, essentially, is what I want to do. So I've got like apps. So I have web and API. Web is the React Vite front end, which is here. And I'm using React Router data mode as well, for this, and then the back end is Hano, as I mentioned, which is very it's like dead simple. I just have this basic. I configured cores here as well with basic origin. I didn't include any specific headers in this, just to keep it easy. But this was basically generated from creating the Hano project. So that's good. And then for the packages, I've got 3. I have the database, which will contain the Drizzle Postgres stuff. I have a shared database, or a shared package, which will contain like the Zod schemas and stuff like that, which I haven't really, I kind of left it just blank. And then an API client, which essentially, I was kind of looking at some example mono repos, and a lot of people had this API client, which is like a compatibility layer between web and API. So essentially, I don't have to do this BS where I'm making fetches inside of my web app, right? Like my front end, which is kind of messy and not organized. So instead of doing that, web just calls the client, and then I worry about error handling, and I have like a streamlined way of doing error handling, of doing fetches and stuff like that inside of that client. It's kind of isolated, and it also is better for errors as well. And then that API client communicates directly with the API, right? So the web doesn't actually know about the API. That API client kind of sits in the middle, right? And I don't know if this is exactly what a compatibility layer means, but I'm assuming I'm using this, kind of in my, maybe it has another definition, some other more common definition, but I think I would define that as like a compatibility layer, like some sort of API between just to do those fetches directly. I know I could use something like, I think there's like Axios or whatever it is, but I want to make my own, so that's good. And then I was kind of defining as well what dependencies I wanted to include. So the root has TypeScript. I also went with ESLint instead of Biome, only because I think it's a little bit, I had been using it before and I understand it a little bit better. Biome I'm still new to. I'm willing to switch that at some point, but for now I'm just going to keep it that way. And just some type stuff. The web app is going to have, or the front end is going to have React, React Router, React DOM, Vite, Tailwind as well for styles. And then Zod, in case I want to do front end validation. And then the API back end is going to contain Hano, and then Argon 2 for running, if I'm running my own auth, right, I can do that for encryption and hashing specifically. And then Pinot for logging, which I also saw in some example projects that I took a look at. So there's that, and then for the database, I'm using Drizzle ORM, Drizzle Kit, and Postgres, which is apparently more performant and lightweight than PG. So this is Postgres JS, I should say, right? And then for the shared package, the only dependency is Zod, just to define those schema and type definitions, so that essentially our database package and our API and our web all can see those shared schemas, right? So when I'm making a database schema here, the schemas are going to conform to the schemas that I define inside of the shared package, right? Something like that. So that's kind of a high level view of what I'm planning here. So I've basically got this template scaffolded out. It's very minimal. There's nothing really in here other than a basic client connection to the database with Drizzle and a basic config as well. I also need to, this needs to change as well because there's no one base schema. So I need to maybe change that config a little bit. I'm not even 100% sure if I need this config. I just was, when I was looking at the docs, it had it included. So do you use a green screen? I use a virtual green screen. So I don't have one on me, behind me at all. I just use Apple's, you basically superimpose an image behind your whatever webcam, and then I'm using just a green image and then chroma keying it out with Streamlabs. I'm studying CS. I go second year and see some videos for you. I think I'll learn a lot of things. Well, I hope so, O'Merrill. If you follow along, I'm learning just alongside. A lot of this stuff's new to me too. So yeah, we can learn together. So anyway, so I'm gonna kind of play with this drizzle config here. I don't 100% know if I need this defined or not. And then this index I was gonna have for like all the exports of the schemas or whatever, if it's needed in say the API client or whatever it is, right? Or the shared. I don't know. So we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna kind of write because I have a GitHub repo for this template. I'm just going to move this to my other monitor. So let's go to the GitHub. Let's go to my repositories. And then, so I'm calling this, so let's say, I'm going to copy this description that I wrote. So, description, or I should even just put it up here. Minimal tech stack for full stack web development that tries to circuit balance between using popular, modern, and minimal tooling. I should maybe say used by BenStack. Used and created and used by, or something like that. It's kind of weird that I have it as like BenStack and BenStack, but it is what it is. But I was like, okay, what am I going to name this template? Obviously BenStack, because it's my name, right? But anyway, so I was going to just include some stuff in this README, right? Which is basically what we went over. So I'm going to do like basic, let's do like hi, what the stack, I don't know what I should say for this, like what the stack or stack contain contents or something, and then we'll do like a list. So maybe like, oh, it's not what we want to do. So package manager pnpm, and then front end app/web is going to be, kind of want to put this like in a table, but I don't know how to, I forgot how to do tables in Markdown. That's okay, I'll just leave it the way it is. React plus Vite, and then backend, which is app/API, is going to be Hano. Did I finish Odin? No, I did not finish Odin. I'm taking a bit of a detour. I'm basically making my own tech stack because I was unhappy with what Odin was using, and I was unhappy with kind of hopping between different full stack frameworks and not having a clearly defined tech stack. So this is kind of a detour to define this tech stack, and then I'm going to be creating basically a to-do app just to test like authentication and CRUD operations, to make sure that the stack is good, make any modifications to the stack that I see are needed while I'm creating that example project, and then I'm going to go back to finish Odin. That's kind of the plan. Over the last week that I was away, I was kind of thinking about taking this little detour because I wasn't really happy with kind of just doing things without more detailed planning. Am I aware of Bever Stack? Literally what you're describing? Really? Interesting. I'm not aware of it. But I don't know. I think creating your own stack is also just good for practice anyway. It doesn't like, I don't care if anyone uses this. This is just for me. I'll look it up. Let's see. Oh, or is it BH? I don't know. BVR stack. Oh, it includes Turbo Repo. Okay, so that has Bun as the runtime. Oh no, okay, React. Okay, it has biome. What does it use? Does it have like a... It doesn't really say. Client server. Oh, an effect platform backend API. I don't know what effect platform is. Interesting. I want to see. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. You know, I don't plan on. I'm assuming this is what you're talking about, Kino. But yeah, again, this is like a very, very basic stack, right? So this is how I should write out the project structure too. That's cool. I'm kind of gonna maybe, you know what I will do though? I'll probably base what my, you know, what my README should look like off of this. That's some pointers. Got you, Kino. I appreciate it. Yeah. Again, I think there is a bunch of benefit to making your own. Again, this isn't like something, I don't want to make this for anybody. This is just for me so that I can stop like stack hopping essentially and actually like stick to something that works for me and has the tools that I like, even if they're too simple or whatever, right? But no, I really appreciate that recommendation. This is cool. Yo, Jay, how's it going? If you missed it, I'm basically, over the last week, I was kind of like, when I felt better, I was thinking of creating my own, because we were doing the monorepo stuff, but I'm like, okay, I want to do this more properly. So I'm making my own stack. It's really, really basic, right? It doesn't have turbo repo or anything, these fancy things, but you know, it'll serve my purposes, I think, which is the most important part for mainly learning. Did you build some projects before? Yeah, I built a couple small ones, Kino, but none that have really been. I haven't actually finished a full stack project yet because I've kind of, the full stack frameworks were too confusing. Specifically, React Router v7 as a framework was really confusing, and I don't know. I found building my own stack kind of ad hoc on stream was really confusing, and I felt lost afterwards. So that's kind of, you know, I want to like go into this with like a clear pathway, I guess. Like, so anyway, let me, you know, pivot back out here. So I want to actually look up Markdown tables, because I don't know how to do tables in Markdown. Oh, it's like this, okay. Okay, that's disgusting. To add a table, use 3 or more hyphens to create a column's header. Okay. So let's try this out. So we'll say, what should we call it? The element, maybe? Like, what does he put for workflow? I see, that's workflow, and then for this, app. Okay, so app. And then we'll say description. Sure. Oh wait, I think this has to be like this, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was it like this? Yeah, okay, and then these are the rows. Okay. So we'll say the app is web, is the first app, and then the other app is API. We'll do it in lowercase. A basic React plus Vite app includes Tailwind for styles. And then for this, Hano app, like Express, but nicer syntax and modern. Sure, something like this, right? So that should make a table now if we, you know, push it or whatever. So that's good. And then So that's the stack content. So we have app description, and then we need our packages as well. So I'm just going to copy this. And I'll do the packages in a separate table. So then the first package is our database package. Basic drizzle ORM connected to a Postgres database locally for now. Sure. And I also eventually want to, you know, have this Postgres database containerized inside of like a Docker container, but I haven't really learned Docker yet, so I'm just gonna leave that for now. So we have the database, we have the shared, which is gonna include Zod, schemas, and types, and then API client, layer between web and API apps. Actually, I want to make these all like this too. To handle HTTP fetches and errors, or something like this, right? I don't know. So cool. Let's take our first 5-minute break. I hope you guys have had a great week. I know, you know, I've been, I was ill for a while, although I've been feeling better for the last couple days. Still have a bit of a dry throat, bit of a lingering cough, you know, congested airways. But other than that, you know, feeling all right. Unfortunately, gave the sickness to my girlfriend. She's also on the mend though, so that's good. But you know what, it is what it is, I guess. You know, life happens, you get sick, you have to take some time off. My channel basically died over the last week, but that's okay. I'm gonna get right back on the horse. But yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so like over the last couple days, this is kind of what I've been doing to prep coming back, because I wanted to do this stack. I wanted to finish it before I came back, but I didn't get a chance to fully finish it, which is why I'm doing that here. Yeah, he's eating his food.
I know, but he doesn't like it.
He'll live. How long ago did you finish uni? I'm at my 4th year and also had to self-study a lot. Well, so this is interesting. You know, I finished my first degree in 2023, so 3 years ago. But I only finished my CS degree last year. So I have 2 degrees. But yeah, I've only been out of school for, what, like 14 months now, 15 months? I've been working full-time since May of 2025. In IT, though. I don't work in development. But yeah. Anyway. I also don't really like, the other thing with this stack, right, is like this guy has a bunch of, you know, CI/CD considerations. And I don't really, you know, I don't really know how to, I haven't studied CI/CD. I do plan on doing that, and that will probably evolve with the later iterations of BenStack if I ever can maintain this. That's awesome. Nice time management. If you also study after work, very respectable. Yeah, thanks. I do. I work full time, Monday to Friday. Basically 9 to 5. It's hours fluctuate a little bit, but it's basically, yeah, it's like 9 to 5. Yeah. So I do the YouTube stuff after stream after work. I stream after work in the evenings because that's when I have time. Because you know I have to make supper and these sorts of things. But yeah, because I want to, grow this community as well as grow my own skills, right? So that's kind of why I'm here. But yeah. I also revamped the workingon command because it was getting cut off by the Nightbot. So I put it into a Pastebin if you want to see what I'm working on, which is a lot more detailed. And I didn't really know where to put it, so I just threw it in a Pastebin for now. And if that doesn't work out, then I can revamp it. But I spent some time doing that. Did you start this list web dev from zero? Did I start web dev from zero? Pretty much. Like when I started this channel, I knew like basic HTML and CSS. Oh, Meryl, that's basically what I was going off of. So I knew like what like a head, like a H1 tag was. I knew like basic how to make like a very basic HTML page and like with basic CSS like properties were and stuff. But like other than that, like no, I completely from scratch. Like I have my degree focused on, and I've said this before, it was a lot of CS theory, DSA, a lot of math, discrete math, calculus, even like applied like machine learning and stuff like stuff like that. But it wasn't really like, there was no web dev, there was no project building of any sort, right? There were no classes at least dedicated to that. So I had no idea like about this entire world, right? And school kind of had me so underwater that I didn't really care about web dev. Or I wanted to care about it, and I wanted to get into it, but there was no time, right? So anyway, that's that. So let's get into another 25 minutes here. So I think, this BHVR is where this is based on that. Bun, Hano, Vite, React. Oh, see, that's basically that's basically mine. That's okay. Whatever. But it uses Bun instead of Node, but that's okay. I'm just using what I'm familiar with. And again, as I mentioned before, I think creating your own stack, there are benefits to doing that. So I'm going to say like basic usage up here, getting started, and then we'll say to install, clone this repository, clone this repo, and run pnpm install inside the root, clone this repo into your desired directory, or whatever, clone this repo and run pnpm install inside the root directory. I guess that's fine. To get started, clone this repo, run pnpm directory. I think you have to also I think I get started, clone this repo, and run pnpm install inside the root directory. Additionally, I think you also have to run pnpm install for these individual ones too, or does pnpm install do it for all of them? I don't know. You misspelled the stack. Yeah, I was wondering about that actually. BHVR, yeah, like beaver. That's cool. So Bun, Hano, Vite, React. That's cool. It's essentially what I'm doing, but you know what? Like, I don't mind doing my own, right? Because it lets me learn. But that's cool though that exists. So then we have. I don't know if I think if I do pnpm install, it'll install all of the because it'll use the pnpm workspace to, I don't know. Anyway, so the root directory for development, and I also need to define the build scripts too. development, and then I'll say like start development. I'll just kind of copy what he put. PNPM run dev. Start development environment, or start development servers. Start development both web and API. Start just web app. PNPM run dev web. I think that's how I had it, right? Yeah. And then start just API app. PNPM run dev API. Front end, essentially. Back end. And then I need to do build as well. So build, I need to test that out. So if we go into the individual guys here, we're going to need to define build scripts. Okay, so that's the build. So it's just TSC, okay. That's for the API, and for the web, build is this, and then lint. We also can put lint as well. Good to see you back. Thanks, Renz. I appreciate that. Still, you know, a little bit on the mend, but I'm like 95% back. What programming languages do you know? And did you learn all this in 115 days? Pretty much, Ego. I mean, I knew I was a computer science. I'm a computer science grad, so you can read my FAQ here to get a little bit of history, like where I'm coming from. But as far as web dev, like yes, I learned this all in 115 days, pretty much. Maybe a little bit more than that because I, you know, spend some time off stream sometimes. You know, doing extra research and stuff like that. But yeah. So all right, the Odin Project helped me. Yeah, it absolutely helped me. I'm actually not finished the Odin Project. I'm just taking a brief detour because I'm near the end of the Node.js section, and that section is has a lot of outdated tooling that I didn't really want to use. So I have kind of, you know, and I was hopping between using full stack frameworks for the last 10 streams. Like if you've been here, I was kind of like using full stack frameworks like React Router v7. And I was like, okay, this kind of sucks because I don't have a clean distinction between like the client and the server. And I'm like, you know, I'm still too new for it, right? It's kind of confusing. And I want to understand like every element of my project, right? I don't want to like black box anything, right? I want to have my hands in it, essentially, in building and architecting this, which is why I then now am defining my own stack, hence my name, which kind of, it's like we've come full circle here with with the BenStack name. So that's kind of worked out. Build both front end and back end, or both web and API apps. PNPM run build. And then build just web app, PNPM run build web build, or I don't even need just here. I can just like say start build API app, PNPM run build API. We'll just start with that for now. Something like this. I don't know. I'm going for front dev, and I'm in college right now, CS student, learning JavaScript right now. How often do you study or practice? I've been studying like 4 to 6 hours a day, sometimes 8. Yeah, that's really good, Hugo. I mean, if you can afford to do that, like, absolutely. It kind of depends on your schedule. I don't really do it by day, because some days I don't study at all. But I try to get in 15 to 20 hours a week, because I work I work 40 hours a week full-time. So you know, I think 15 to 20 hours for me is sustainable. And with it, you know, without going crazy, I guess. Wait, you finished Odin? No, I haven't, Renz. I'm just taking a slight detour. I'm going to use this stack, though, in my last Odin projects. I still have a bit left with Odin. I can actually show you where I'm at with that. If I open up, we kind of stopped at the file uploader app. Let me just get into this guy here. Yeah, so we stopped at this file uploader, which I'm going to use this stack for, ultimately, I think. And then the blog API and all these things. Or maybe I'll just use like Hana by itself if it's just an API. I don't know. But the idea is that I want to build this stack so that I have something that works for me, that I can use for projects, for learning, for the foreseeable future. Yeah, because I was kind of getting frustrated, honestly, with, you know, I felt like I was hitting a lot of dead ends with the full stack frameworks and all these things, and kind of ad hoc building my stack on stream. I was like, no, I want to have a more planned approach to this, right? So that's why I'm building the BenStack now, I guess. I love practicing and studying coding. I don't even get burnt out as what I was in the beginning. I just don't like watching videos of learning something. They make me sleepy. Yeah, I agree, Ego. Totally agree. I like to learn by doing, for sure. I do read documentation as well. So I do that, but that's just kind of like my style. But anyway, okay, so this is good. I think like we need to like have like a features to add in the future or something like this. Or like upcoming features maybe. And then we'll have like a list of upcoming features. So that's fine. Is there anything else I need here? And then I'm going to do, oh yeah, project structure. And then, so how does he use these? What are these characters here? I might just copy this. So we have apps. It's like a T character. Yeah, so that's, is this a whole character? Oh no, there's that and then, oh, and then there's, okay, I see. So these are special characters. Okay, so then we'll do apps. Do these have like less space between them? I wonder. Maybe they do. And so then we have apps. And then we need this T again. And then we'll do web. And API. I'm just going to write all this out first and then do the packages. And then do the comments. So our packages are API client, or I guess this is API web, it's sorted, isn't it? Let's do it like that. So we have that. Oh wait, I need this special character. We even copy just this whole thing. Like this. And then we have API client, DB, and shared. Good. And then this. And we'll say .env.example. Which, from my understanding, this env.example is basically like a blanked out env for your real env. So yeah. All right, then we have like, we have the git ignore. I don't even know if we need to include that really. Dot git ignore maybe. I'll just put it. Dot our package dot JSON. PNPM lock, probably don't need to include that. PNPM workspace for sure. And then readme, and then tsconfig. All right, so there's our project structure. I think that's fine. So then now we can do, we'll say React plus Vite projects. Oh wait, no, that's the other one, sorry. Hano projects. React plus Vite projects for front end. And then here we're going to say, what do we put for the description? Layer between web and API. Web and API apps for HTTP fetches. Do you ever look up things when you're building something like Google, etc.? Yeah, absolutely. You go 100%. I'm actually using this. Kino and chat recommended, or pointed me to this BHVR Beaver stack, which is very similar to what I'm doing, but I'm kind of using this README to kind of just structure my own README. But yeah, I absolutely use Google. I use Stack Exchange. I also use chat sometimes as well. Like sometimes you guys have suggestions for me, and I take those into consideration. Okay, so then we have database, Drizzle or Postgres data client with Drizzle ORM connection, or Drizzle ORM config. And then Zod schemas and types. I should say schemas and types. Zod and TS. And or, maybe. Example.env file with needed fields. With required fields, or with required variables. I'm actually going to include that in the setup as well. Package JSON. I see. Are you going for front end job, or do you like your current job, or just for fun? Oh yeah. I kind of I don't know. It's kind of just for fun and to maybe do a career pivot in the future, but I'm not a skilled enough dev to get a job in web development. At least I don't think so. Not yet, but I'm getting there. That's part of these streams, right? Maybe in 6 months to a year I can be there. So like if you look at where I started to where I am now, this like it was just basically 6 months, a little less. I've made like leaps and bounds in 6 months. So like who knows where I'm going to be in another 6 months, right? It's all about showing up when you can. Again, like I was just sick. I just had a cold. I felt really shitty for like 72 hours. So I took a step back, took a break when needed. So that's not to say to grind all the time. If you're focused on your health, but it's the progress. Putting in the work that really matters. Entry level is so hard, but you made so much progress. I see your lives, and I think I saw you when you were at CSS, or maybe I was mistaken. I just never entered live. Nice. Well, I appreciate you coming around, Hugo. Yeah, I mean, I started with nothing. Like when I started this, I started at quite literally one subscriber, and that one subscriber was my girlfriend. I'm not kidding. Before I ever streamed, I had one subscriber, and that was my girlfriend because she believed in me, and I've grown it to over 2,000. So, yeah, I don't know. It's cool that I've kind of done that through just consistency, I guess. Okay, so let's. What else do we need? Okay, yeah. So this is just the root package.json with basic with scripts, with run scripts. And then you're making more progress than most people. It takes others a lot of months to learn what you're learning. Yeah, I will say, thanks innovation. Yeah, I will say the CS degree has helped for sure. Like I wouldn't learn this quickly if I didn't have those fundamentals, right? Because I think a lot of people that are learning without the degree kind of get caught up on like the actual programming theory, right? But for me, like I know how to code. It's just a matter of like learning the tools, right? Like there's a difference between learning how to code and like learning the tools and learning the languages, right? Or even like frameworks, like whether it's Express or React or whatever it is, like learning those, once you know how to like fundamentally how to code like conditionals, like loops, functions, object-oriented programming, like that, those fundamentals, right? Once you have that down, it makes kind of adding tooling on top of it, in my opinion, easier. It's still not easy. Like, it's not to say I can do it quickly, but it's kind of like a shortcut a little bit. Yeah, and learning to think and explain your code and what's happening. Yeah, exactly. And that's also why I'm streaming too, because like somebody mentioned, I forget who it was. I think it was JMac. What you're saying is so true. Yeah, and I only could say that because anyway, I have two thoughts juggling at once. But no. When I was like 12, I tried to teach myself how to code by just copying tutorials, and it didn't work. So yeah, I can vouch for that. The other thing I was gonna say is someone in my stream, JMac, I think it was JMac said that like every stream you're basically doing a coding interview, like you're as if you're being interviewed by a recruiter or something every time. So you're putting in like hundreds of hours of practice for that, which is kind of like, I'm like, damn, he's kind of right. I'm not 100% sure he told me that, but I think it was JMac. Going through the hard steps of learning the fundamentals, learning the tools gets way easier. Yeah, exactly. And like, I'm a little bit, and I when people come in, they're like, oh, how'd you do it in like 115 days or whatever? I say to them, guys, like I did 2.5 years. I did a whole degree and like basically taught myself the fundamentals of programming first before I even started web dev, right? So, I mean, like data structures, algorithms, even discrete math, like with learning like set theory, relations, graph theory, basic algorithms like, depth first search, stuff like that. Like it gives you like a more like well-rounded understanding of just like computer science in general. And that helps you like understand like and appreciate how these higher level systems are working, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a huge head start, 100%. Okay, let's finish this off. Workspace, PNPM, workspace, configurations, and then the README is self-explanatory. Root ts config. All right. I want to do this little bottom L shape actually for these ones. That's why they were looking funny. So I want to do that here. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so that should be everything I need. Oh yeah, I was gonna modify this up here as well. I'm gonna say to add, modify, use .env as a guide for the necessary environment variables to define in your .env file, which create a .env create a .env and use any of that as a guide for the necessary environment to define. Or something like this. This might be fine. Like that. The git ignore or .git ignore is already configured to ignore .env, so don't worry about that. There we go. This month marks my first year of coding. I'm quite happy with my progress, and that's awesome innovation. Yeah, again, like I've probably been like actually around now, I would say right around now is about my 3-year anniversary of coding. Although I won't say that that's been consistent, because like from when I graduated my degree in June of last year to January when I started this channel, so basically 6 months, I didn't code barely at all for like 6 months. So I've really been coding like 2.5 years, kind of. And then like even during the summers, like during school, I wouldn't code either. So maybe like 2 years. When do you start your live and what time zone? So if you want to know like my live schedule, Omeral, you can join my Discord, and I post like when I go live there, and it should be in your time zone. But I started 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So GMT -4, I think. Yeah. But you can join the Discord, and then I post the stream schedule there always. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I think this README is like done here, pretty much. Mostly low-level stuff with some back-end, very little front-end. I just want a front-end job, but senior devs have been telling me entry level is harder. All right, hold on. I gotta take a quick break. I gotta mute as well for just a second. I'll be right back. All right, we're good. My girlfriend just wanted to walk behind me, and she didn't want to be on camera, so I turned the camera off. Front end is so fun in my opinion because you can see what you're doing. Yeah, I agree. I want to add UI designing to my skills also. Nice. Yeah, actually, my girlfriend is she does UI stuff, so it's pretty fun seeing what she does, like kind of like UI UX. I'm not as much into the UX stuff. Like it's very, that's a whole world. Like UI UX is its own entire beast beyond web development, honestly. So I mean, I'm not even gonna pretend to try to do that. I mean, there's a difference between like having basic front end skills and like basic UI stuff versus like actually being trained in UI UX. Lead senior devs make like 180K where I'm from. Where I am, it's insane. Yeah, that sounds about right though, Ego. You know, maybe someday I could make that much money. I don't know. Probably not. I make, I don't know, pretty average living, I would say. In IT. IT does not pay like that. If you want to get into IT, like if you want to, you know, do my path and get into IT, you def can, just got to put in the work. Yeah, it's gonna, like maybe, but it'll take some time for sure. I'll be applying for Rust jobs soon. We'll see how that goes. Oh, best of luck, Innovation. I'm, you know, you've been working real hard. I'm sure you'll be just fine. I mean, maybe if you're going for like senior roles, I don't know about that necessarily if you've only been coding a year, but if you have prior coding experience, I don't know. Hopefully the jobs recover by the time I apply. Yeah, I hope it'll course correct a little bit. I don't know though. This AI shit. A lot of companies love it, and they love to think that they can replace you for it because it's cheaper, even though it isn't probably. Although maybe it still is. I don't know. There's a lot of bullshit going on. Which is like for me, like I kind of want to be, at least like I want to have a supplemental, like I want to have some amount of my income, like at least a third of my income in the future be from like being self-employed. Ideally, that's the goal. They just told me entry level is hard because they can get AI to do that type of stuff. Yeah, exactly. And it's like I have a friend who is an intern right now, and they use AI, and he said like kind of the same idea. And it's also like the problem is like it can't really, it's not a person, right? A person can understand way more context, I think, than an AI can. Like the AI maybe does like a good enough job or whatever, but like I still think that having a person is better because the person can like keep a cohesive memory about a project for months or years, where like the AI, like it doesn't have that, you know, it's not a person, right? Like it's you're missing something. It's like I don't know if you've ever heard of the doorman fallacy, but like a lot of people are using that to like describe replacing human beings with AI. I believe if you're passionate and good, you'll be fine. Yeah. AI can't do meetings, etc. Yeah, exactly. The only thing AI is decent at, I will say, and this is the one thing I've used it in my job for, is quite literally editing documentation. For like to be succinct, that's it. Like our workplace uses Microsoft, so we have like Copilot, unfortunately, and like sometimes I'll take documentation, like if I'm like not feeling like doing grammar or whatever, I'll just like word vomit out a documentation, then I'll get like Copilot to clean it up, whatever. Who cares? It's just information, right? And then I'll read over it, make sure that everything they didn't change any of the information, and then if it all looks good, then I, you know. That's it. That's all I do. Keep in mind, IT jobs are massively inflated during COVID. Yeah. You're addicted to coding? That's perfect. I'd say I'm addicted to it too. I mean, I don't know if I like am addicted, but I get joy by thinking about my next project and these sorts of things. I used to think when you first started coding that I think that's how I thought when I was young, ego, because I tried to teach myself how to code a little bit when I was younger. When I was like 12, like when I was a kid, and I remember thinking very similar. Like I thought you just had to like memorize every single line of code for like a project or whatever it was, and then like to reproduce that you had to like, because I was into like game development, you know, and I was like, okay, well, so to make this certain thing, you have to memorize this exact sequence of 36 lines to, you know, and you have to use that every single time. Like I didn't realize that it was like a very modular thing. I don't know, but I think a lot of people maybe think that when they are uninitiated to tech. Yeah, you know, I thought that about solving the Rubik's Cube too, and then I learned how to solve the Rubik's Cube. So I get that innovation. I wanted to script on Roblox when I was young. Nice. I think I'm a little bit, I mean, I think Roblox has been around for a while, but I never used it when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe it wasn't as popular like not 20 years ago, like 15 years ago. I don't think it was as popular as it is today. Maybe it was, and I was just like living under a rock, but my thing was like Minecraft, right? Like early days Minecraft from like 2010 to like 2013. So like I wanted to make like Minecraft mods too, for instance. I never got to it, but that was another thing like I wanted to do when I was like 11 years old or whatever. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could make a Minecraft mod, right? Now I believe that if you get comfortable with pointers in C, you can learn anything in CS, really? Yeah. I mean, yeah, pointers just stores a location in memory. It points to a location in memory. But like that requires you to have some operating system knowledge, right? So Minecraft is more popular than Roblox in like the mid 2000s, mid 2010s maybe. Like didn't Minecraft come out in 2009? I could be wrong. I don't know. I think it was 09 or 2010 or something, or 2011. I don't remember. Something around then. I think maybe the full release came out like 2011, and then the alpha and beta version. Because I played like the alpha version. I meant 2010s. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I played the alpha versions in 2010. When I was little, like 2010 to 2017. Yeah, I agree. Although I stopped playing Minecraft probably around 2015 when I went to high school. Because high school got too busy. All right, I think this is good. I'm gonna just put that there. I'm gonna commit this. Add initial readme. And then we'll say like stack contents, project structure, brief description, getting started, development scripts. Sure. All right. So that should be good. Pointers were a huge mind twister for me for the first time I looked at them, because yeah, it's an address in the memory. It's an address to memory, but even that concept is very confusing to a beginner. Yeah, exactly, because like, if you don't know how computers work with memory to begin with, you wouldn't know what that even means, right? Like, you need to know what an address even is, and like how bytes work, right? And then like even you can get into like, I think it abstracts virtualization, because like the virtualization is done by the like virtual memory, like that's handled at like the CPU level, I think, right? The CPU, or is it the MMU? I don't know. I'm trying to like dig deep into my OS knowledge here. Like handles the translation from virtual memory at the operating system deals with virtual memory, and then the MMU translates that to physical. I don't know. I think that's my rough understanding. But that's almost like at like a chip level. You don't have to worry about that. CPU handles that. You want to study again, but you studied too much. Well, I mean, I think the thing though is that it's kind of risky, because like you can overdo it, right, and then burn out. Like, I don't want you to burn out. You know what I mean? I mean, at least I would burn out. I can't speak for you, I guess, but I would burn out even if I push myself like that. I think having that delayed gratification ego and like saying like I want to study but I should stop, and then like letting that bleed into the next day is good, because then it'll give you motivation to do it the next day, right? MMU translates to virtual memory to physical frames. Yeah. That's what I thought. It's been a while. I'm a little rusty. Okay, I got you. So it's not the CPU. I just wasn't sure if the MMU, like in modern chips, lives inside of the CPU somewhere, or if it's separate, or if the MMU is inside of the RAM. I don't know where it lives. Like, I know sometimes it's like, or is it like its own chip somewhere? Because like I know that the CPU is just like, it's a bunch of things, right? You have like the different cores and all that shit. Do you want to come back? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna turn off my camera just for 1 second. No, I'll just turn it off for 2 seconds. All right. You can go.
Thank you.
Oh, it wasn't off.
Oh, okay. Well,
I forgot that I didn't hit the right button. Oops. I'll clip that out. It's okay. You didn't show your face though, not really.
I don't want my...
What are we building? We are building. Making my own stack, and then I'm gonna be making a to-do app with that stack to test it. That's what I'm doing. And your egg. Don't worry, you were only on camera for like a split second, and you didn't show your face. I'll clip it out of the VOD.
That's fine.
Anyway, you cheated on your final.
Oh.
Oh no. Yo, how's it going, Ashes? Yeah, virtual memory and page tables are kind of difficult concepts to wrap your head around. Yeah, exactly. Like, page tables are like what, like 4 kilobytes or something, right? Had to, bro, is the only way. I don't know about that. See, I never cheated. I don't know. I was a goody two-shoes. Not saying that makes me better. I never cheated. I don't know. All right, so this is a decent looking. Oh shit, this is all misaligned though. Why is that all weird? It looks all nice here, but it's not. All right, let's fix that. Because it's all aligned here, but I don't know what the hell. Okay. Four kilobytes is a page. Page tables have arbitrary size. Oh, right. 4 kilobytes is the page. Yeah. I think addressable up to 9 bits. So 2 to the power 9 entries max, something like that. Yeah. That makes sense. I really wanted to learn. Unfortunately, didn't learn enough. Unfortunately, didn't enough technology. What do you mean, idle? All right, so this is fine. This looks disgusting. I don't know how to fix that. Why is the spacing all screwed up? I don't know. Maybe I need like less space on this. I don't know. Let's try this. Okay, that's a little better there. And then so this one, these 3 are forward. If you finish web dev, what will you do? Oh, don't worry, I'll do other stuff. I'm probably actually going to learn, I have a long-term plan. I want to get into lower level stuff, like what innovation's talking about. Kind of like digging back into C and operating systems again. That's like a year down the line though, or more, I don't know. But I'm going to do web dev at least for the next 6 months to a year, I would say. But yeah, that's the next big goal. The next pivot after web dev is C and like operating systems and Linux. That's the next step. But I want to finish this web dev goal first, and still do web dev. You know, like I'm gonna do both, right? But like finish my web dev learning journey. Not finish it, but like at least this like initial foray into it. But I'm gonna like diversify my content like eventually. It's a good way to exactly. It's a good way to stay committed. Yeah, 100%. All right, so these two need to move back one. So like, all right, let's just like, maybe like this. So if I move those back and then this back, does that fix that? Yeah, so now those are lined up, and then I need to push that one forward 1, and then this one forward 2. So layer needs to go forward 1. This is forward 2, like this. So that should be fine. Oh, it didn't fix anything. Why? Do I need to study software, like knowing how the computer works before getting into software engineering? Because I'm almost finished learning JS. I don't think you have to, but it does. I will say it does give you a better understanding, a more well-rounded understanding of stuff. Or yeah, backend. Yeah, if you want to do backend as well. Let's see. Can we make this go a little? I don't know, man. Does this fix it? Okay, that's lined up now, and then the layer between web and API needs to be fixed. So like 2 forward. Oh, it's still not enough. Come on. I don't know how this is supposed to work. Oh, that's too far now. Come on, dude. What about that? Way too many commits here. There are going to be like way too many update readmes. I might be able to merge those all in or something. But that's okay. I don't really care. I just want this to line up properly. It's driving me nuts. No. Okay, 2 more spaces. Wish there was a way to preview this. Maybe there is. Oh, there is. That would have been nice to know. There was a preview up here. I didn't even notice. I was focusing too much on chat at the same time. So I'll figure that out. Clean up the commit tree. Okay, so that looks nice now. So we have this project structure with all these lined up, right? All these comments. Perfect. Cool. If you actually learn the computing abstractions like memory processes, CPU, it enables a way of thinking that's hard to put in words. Yeah, I think there are quirks to the way that like something like React works, right? I'm just using React as an example. That like might be really confusing if you don't understand how like a computer works at a low level. I don't know. I don't know if anyone can relate, but I've been dealing with consistency issues. Like for weeks, I was able to stay consistent, but after that, I just don't want to do anything. Like it's bad. Yeah. I mean, I just took a week off, Ashes, so like I kind of get you. But it was because I was sick. I think the most important thing, at least for me, is to have some way of keeping myself accountable for my learning, and I do that through the streams. So whether that's like somebody you talk to, like a friend or something like that, or even start streaming yourself, or even like don't even stream it, but like record yourself or something like that. Like have some sort of log of what you've done, and once you get on a roll, it's you have that kind of accountability framework, and then that kind of helps you push through the not wanting to start sort of thing. At least that's what works for me. I think you should you can experiment around and see what works for you. Yeah, that's also true. Like switching up your workflow style actually helps too. Like I felt myself getting kind of stuck with the last few streams, right? And I was like, I'm not really making much progress, with development. And I was like, I wanted to just, I was like, okay, I need to scrap what I'm doing, make my own stack that has my own tools that or not my own tools, but like my own selected tools that I like, and go from there, so I can have a better starting point. So like sometimes you have to step back and reevaluate your strategy. But anyway, I did that as well. I ask AI, just don't ask AI to write code for me. I ask it to train me. I mean that works too. You can do that for sure. Okay. I use it for like at work for like summarizing stuff, or like making documentation more succinct or whatever. Yo, it's going all right, Tyler. We're done this, I think, now. So I think I can clone this into a to-do project. So someone asked what my stack is. It's literally in my name. So there you go. So I'm gonna be using this for the future. Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really have any implementations. It's just a skeleton with all the tools in there, right? And it doesn't really do much for you. It's very batteries not included. But it's a start, right? It's version 1. So I don't know. I might make a changelog as well somewhere for this. I'll probably do that after stream. I'll worry about the changelog. This is like the, that's so awesome. I'm pretty consistent on coding in general, but my progress on book course has been pretty slow because going through the assembly basics is a really bit of a slog. Yeah, assembly is tricky if you're not... what is fun, though, is WebAssembly, because I find WebAssembly is so simple. Like, there's not that many instructions. At least, I don't know. I found it fun when we did it in school. Bro, I was stuck on thesis in ML for 2 years, but I'm starting to learn fundamentals of Python. I feel like I'm starting late in AI game. I want to switch to engineering side now. Like, what do you mean, like AI engineering? Have you messed with... Yeah, we did in a class. So I was in a compilers class, innovation, and we used whoami with Python, which is weird. But we basically used Python to make a compiler for a toy language that compiled into whoami. So, yeah, that was cool. I mean, we did it like in bits, right? So, but it's still very neat. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay. And then I need to align it. That's kind of cool. Actually, yeah, it was cool. We did it all. It was a little cursed though, because we did it all in like Jupyter notebooks. So I mean, it was a little weird, but it was on the web, or it was on like a server that the school hosted. It was strange. But it did the job. Here's web projects, and then I'll do, let's do, I need to just clone all this inside of the, because I want to like make this a template as well. So I might actually do this. I might make a template, make this a template repo, and then make a new repo. So let's do BenStack v1 to-do test, or just to-do. Basic to-do app built with BenStack v1 to test its features and capabilities for further iteration, for future iterations, versions, iterations / versions, something like this. Just got home. What did I miss? Basically, just finishing off the defining the framework, or not my framework, my stack. That's basically it. And then I'm making a basic to-do app to test it. That's what I'm doing. x86 assembly isn't even that hard. Someone like you could easily understand. It's just kind of tedious. Yeah. No, it's there's a lot of instructions too, right? Like, is it a sysc? I forget. Where like, because there's RISC, right? Where like each instruction is the same amount of bytes or something like that, like 4 bytes or whatever it is. And then like sysc is like, there's like composite, like there's like meta instructions that compile down or assemble into like smaller instructions. I don't know. I don't remember it exactly. But yeah. Yes, in AI engineering, but yeah, it's sysc, there are a ton of instructions. Yeah, exactly. A shot says, yes, in AI engineering, but I was way involved in theory rather than learning OOP and DSA, but now I'm starting to understand the implementation. But understand the implementation is kind of where the industry is going now. Like the implementation of what? Like AI specifically? Or the implementation of projects? All right, let's make this repo. And then I'll clone it into this local here. So we'll clone this guy. Now let's do git clone. Good. And then we'll Z into BenStack v1 to do. And then that should be our guy. Let's make sure we're using the right node version. Should be. Yep. Using the LTS. And then we'll do npm install. And that should do everything inside of all of the, yeah, so it installed it across everything, I think. Right? Pretty sure. But anyway, so that's good. Cool. Which testing unit do you often use, Jest or Vite? I use Vite, like vtest. That's what I had been using, Hunter. I haven't. This stack doesn't actually have a testing framework built in yet. That's the idea. So I'm gonna write that down probably somewhere. Let's do to include. Okay. Oh, you probably meant vtest? Yeah. That's true, Simon. I hope you're feeling better, by the way. I know you mentioned you were also feeling a little under the weather. So, yeah. All right, so that's good. Now, if I run, so this has our basic, so we got this, and then it has a web here. So if I do npm run dev, it should work. Would you look at that? Wonderful. Very cool. All right. There's our framework, or not framework, stack. Nice. Cool. Yo, Quirt. Following your streams for a week now. I'm trying to learn development. I enjoy your streams and learn quite a lot. I have some questions, like I'm a total beginner. What do you think I should start? So I should know programming language, but I want to learn proper development. BenStack framework. Yes. It is the BenStack framework. I think if you're new to programming, Quirt, I think you should learn Python. You could do so probably through Free Code Camp here. Did I name my channel BenStack for this exact moment? No. It just kind of happened that way. Ben.js, yeah, exactly. I mean, TanStack did it, right? Isn't his name Tanner? It's the same thing. Although his is like, he's a lot smarter than me, but that's okay. Yeah, C or Python. Like if you're brand new to programming, I feel like C is a little tricky maybe, but like because with the static typing, but I don't know. Teach their own, I guess. You could learn C though. If you want a little more of a challenge and a little bit more, but more appreciation for, you know. But if you never touched a coding environment before, yeah, go with Python. Familiar with Java, yeah. If you're familiar with Java, you could jump into C. No garbage collecting, etc. Yeah, that's true, Tyler. But it does make it, the barrier to entry is higher for sure. BenStack start beta, yep. More like pre-alpha. Quirt, if you want to learn Python, you can use Free Code Camp here. It has a Python course for you. It's hard to come up with projects. How do you get projects? I know coding, but I'm struggling to think about projects. Honestly, for me, what I've been doing was I was using the Odin Project, Hunter. So I was using the Odin Project for my project ideas, right? Like we went through and we built like a CV application builder, a memory card game, a shopping cart app, like these sorts of things, right? And I'm just building a basic to-do app with my framework to test it out. Basic CRUD and just an auth as well. I want to roll my own auth. I want to see how that works out. So that's the idea. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. You know, they make new models aside from the big provider. Yeah. Yeah, no one. Well, I mean, unless maybe like I think like China's got some stuff cooking, but you know. All right, so I think we're gonna jump right into the back end here, to be honest with you, and get some auth working out. Actually, before I do that though, I need to do the database, right? So we're gonna do the database stuff. Oh, did it remove those empty directories? It might have. That's okay. So anyway, we can do that. So we'll get up our do you watch football? If so, what team do you support? I don't watch like football, like American football, or like football, like association football. Also gotta like take a break. Hands off the keyboard. But for American football, I don't really watch American football. Association football, I don't watch. European sports ball, yeah. Well, that's why it's called soccer, eh? So the association was like, you know, turned into soccer. I'm not a big sports ball fan in general. Yeah, that's fair. No, I don't really watch football, like European football. I don't watch hockey either. I watch baseball and basketball primarily. But I've been watching FIFA. But I watch just soccer, not football, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been following the FIFA. I was kind of sad. NBA, yeah, I'm a Raptors fan. As a Canadian, I have to be a Raptors fan, right? So, waiting for that Kawhi Leonard trade to go through, it's killing me. It's like Disney on Ice, but grown men fist fighting. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. LeBron to Raptors, LeBronto? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's probably gonna go to the Warriors, team up with Steph. I think that's what's gonna happen. But anyway, no. Yeah, I've been watching FIFA. I followed Canada. Obviously, Canada got eliminated round of 16. Portugal got eliminated very sadly because I am little lore fact. I'm half Portuguese. So, yeah, I support Portugal and Canada on FIFA. I also don't mind England either because I've been to England before and I like it. So, England's still in. They made it to the semis. They beat Norway, which is cool. Do I think Bronny will be good? Well, he sucked at the beginning, but I think he's getting better. I think Bronny's like going to be like a G League lifer. Kyle Lowry retired. Yeah, he did. He got his he had signed a 1-day contract to retire a Raptor, and then he had like a whole presser. And then Kawhi showed up to the press conference thing / celebration. But yeah, I don't know. For FIFA, the only team I really care about that's still in is England. I would like England to win, I think. I know they're hated, but I don't want France to win. Because France is too good, I think. Or Argentina, for that matter. France and Argentina, I don't like. I think, are they facing each other in the semis? I don't know. But anyway. A lot of sports talk, but yeah, no. Being Canadian, it's funny. I don't really care for hockey that much. I know. People like the fights and stuff, and the kind of fast-paced nature of it. But I find like when I'm watching hockey, I can't see the freaking puck. Like you can't see it. Like it's just like a little black dot. Like it's like impossible to follow. That's why I like basketball because it's like easy to follow it. Same thing with football too, for what it's worth. But hockey, it's like too small. Puck is too small, and then it's like too small of a rink, so then the camera goes back and forth too fast. I don't know. You don't like American football? I know how it's played. Like I can watch it. It's very, very like. Thing with American football is it's so like, it's like chess almost. It's very, very structured. Basketball is so fun to watch. Yeah, I agree. Basketball is the most fun. I like baseball too if I want a more chill viewing experience because I do like baseball. I know it's boring, but I like when like when home runs happen and stuff. It's kind of fun. And baseball is like easy too. Like you don't have to really lock in. So you can just kind of have it playing and it's like, oh, someone hit a single, that's cool or whatever. Like it's more chill. Okay, so let's get into actually doing something. So let's go into our let's set up our user and sessions table, right? So rolling basic session authentication. Session authentication. Let's just do let's get this guy in here. Because I think the idea here, is this going to be, oh, that's like Go. Because I want to know what the schema is. Because we're going to have two tables, right? We're going to have a user table and a sessions table. Lettered in varsity baseball before I got to high school because I'm a nerd and kept the books for them. Nice. That's awesome. Someone in my school got to the NFL. Nice. Played for Polytech and something. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I actually, there's a guy I went to elementary school with, not high school, but elementary school that made the NHL, hockey. Although he's like, I think he plays in the AHL or something. He never really made it, but he got drafted. First rounder, top 15. That's crazy. Yeah, no, this guy that I went to elementary school with, he got drafted like, I think it was like 86th overall or something, like 2021. Tyler Warren, that's cool. You gotta be really good to make NHL. Yeah, so what he did is he used Swedish, or his family was Swedish. So he went to Sweden to play when he was like 12, I think. Like after grade 6, he went there. Anyway, I digress. Let's actually get to work here. Let's get to work. Okay, so we're gonna need two tables. We want a users table and a sessions table, right? So let's go to let's see what BetterAuth does. I just want to see what the schema looks like. Here we go. Session. I don't know if we need a token. So we have a unique session token. Which I don't know how we verify that token though. Expires at, and then this is an account. Oh, okay. So then I wonder if. Okay, so this is Express, but that's fine. Okay, let's do session-based authentication. Hano, maybe? So there's this auth middleware, but I don't know if that's exactly what we want. This is auth.js. That's not what we want. Kind of just surfing around here. There's this, because I saw this basic auth middleware here. But I don't know if that is going to give us what we need. Because then how does that communicate with the database, right? So I don't know. The guy knows around very well. He streams Tarkov. That's cool. Yeah, I know a lot of sports players stream. On Twitch and stuff like that. Believe you will regret, just use BetterAuth. I want to learn though, but I kind of want to learn how to do this. So I'm gonna do this, because I want to like strip out everything that I don't need. But I was using BetterAuth in the past, Haxer. But I kind of want to go through it and see what it, because like I feel like we can do this really simply. With just like a users and a sessions table. Like we don't need all this account nonsense in here. I just want to know how sessions work. Create a simple authentication with Hano and OTP lib. Let's see here. So that's fine. Okay, so we have user, OTP secret. Okay, so this is Prisma, but that doesn't matter. And then do we have a session? Or is that within the user, I wonder? And there's Lucia, so let's see. Yeah, because I want to do this just... I think that's its own... But to start learning software programming, reading up on some basic HTML, CSS, JS. Is it okay for me to start with Odin Project? Absolutely. That's how I started. Drizzle ORM, Postgres, Zod. Yeah, okay, this is exactly what I have. Controllers, services, repositories. Okay, so then let's because we need to get the database first, right? Docker compose, that's for that. We don't need that. Config. Drizzle configuration, that's fine. We already have our drizzle config here. I need to make a new schema file though. Let's do that there. Reading isn't programming? Yeah, but it doesn't. There are projects though in the Odin project. So you're not just reading. Drizzle entry point. Okay, so that's fine. We already have that entry point. Dependencies. Do. Defining routes. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that yet. I just want to get the. Is there anything for the database here? Lost service. Login and sign up. Async login. Hash password. So that's hashing, that's fine. Database provider. So I guess this is only users. I don't know. Session-based authentication is stateful, yeah. Server validates the credentials. If the credentials are valid, the server initiates a session, stores some information about the client. Ah, as a session ID is a cookie. That's what it is. Right. Okay. And then it checks whether it's in the system. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So we need to have, so that's that token, right? And then stores as a cookie. You've actually been implementing Odin-like learning tracks into my site. Nice. That's cool. Okay, so let's define our schema. So let's go to Prisma, not Prisma. Let's go to Drizzle because I'm using Drizzle. Let's go to documentation, schema. So we'll define the schema here. So let's import PG table. From Drizzle. Oh wait, did this not install properly? I don't think it did. Oh, it did. Okay, I guess there's just no autocomplete in here. Imports. Weird. I don't know why there's no autocomplete on this. PG table from Drizzle rm/pg core. It's kind of weird. I don't know, man. Why is that not auto-completing? It's very strange. Oh, failed to run ESLint. Okay, here we go. This might be my problem. Maybe this is part of it. Oh. PNPM package. types node. I wonder if the versions are wrong. No, I don't think so. I have a weird feeling about this. Been grinding Postgres hard today, nice. I found out SQLC today and can confirm it's really awesome. Interesting, what even is that? Let me look it up. Compile SQL to TypeScript, type-safe code. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. And then what's the code as, though? Oh, it's like literally like as an JSON. Oh, that's neat. Restart ESLint server. How do I do that? Restart all servers. Maybe. Yeah, the language server isn't running. That's the problem here. Command Shift P. ESLint. Language server. It's like using an ORM without actually using an ORM. That's awesome. I'll definitely have to look into this for sure. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to put this inside of maybe other resources for sure. So failed to run YAML language server, JSON language server, ESLint, VS, Tailwind language server, Biome, click the show error. I wonder if now Biome is interfering with ESLint or some shit. I don't know what's going on. I'm probably leaking something bad in here. Program. Oh, you know what it is? Because, okay, so let me go through this a little bit, guys. So I had a version. I was using Node version. For some reason, it was stuck on 22. Okay, and I was like, hey, 22 is too old. The LTS version is 24. So I tried to upgrade it to 24, but this looks like it's pointing to, like, so if I see NVM. If I do node version, like I thought it was using 24. Yeah, so it's using 24. NVM use node. Oh, wait. Default, maybe. Yeah, okay, so it's now using 24.18, but because that's the version it should be using, because I wanted to use the LTS version. I don't know if that's like part of the problem. Yeah, I don't know. We will figure it out. Like, where's this coming from? Is that inside of my... Because if I go into NVM ls, right, we don't have that version installed. We don't have 22 anymore, right? Because I didn't want it. So I don't know what's going on here. I think it's this though. So I don't know where this command is coming from, right? Like where is this running? JSON language server. Oops. Oh, but this is like in the settings. .json, but that's not necessarily what I want. Z editor, are my LSP settings correct? Z failed to spawn command, I don't know. Because where's this launch.json happening? Could be an internal VS Code crash. Wait, is Z built on top of VS Code? Here, wait, let me exit out of this. Just reopen the project, maybe? This is what I want. Okay. Yeah, so it still failed to run them here. Huh. I wonder if this will work in VS Code. Yeah, I'm using Z. Yeah, I'm using Z now. Let's try using VS Code. I tried to switch over to Z. So maybe that's part of. Let's just see if code works. Okay, this is not the right project. It's our old project, right? So we want to go back. I think it happened because Z was installed while a different version was active. Yeah, that's what I think's happening. That's definitely. I wonder if it's the package lock. No, that wouldn't be it. Okay, so does this work then? So if I do, okay, so yeah, so language server's working now. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, so let's just use VS Code then for now. Whatever. We'll live with it. You're right though, Haxer. I'm gonna have to look into that more off stream. Okay, let's get back to it. So we're gonna need. Let's do it. Let's just do it this way. So export const users table. Call it users. And then we're going to give it, give the user an ID, and we're going to give the user, I want to use a UUID. So let's look up UUID. Generates v4 UUID strings. Oh, that's not, I don't want the generators. UID column types, there we go. Okay, so just something like this, default random. So I might do ID, UUID, this needs to be imported, right? Primary key dot default random, like that. And then we're gonna have a name as a varchar. I think that's all I need. Oh, it needs to be not null, I think, as well. Okay, and then we'll get in a email varchar unique not null, and then just a password, which I think does. Okay, so I was looking up apparently bcrypt. I didn't know this. Bcrypt is like old, so I was looking at like bcrypt's modern alternatives, and I found this thing called Argon 2, like a hash generator. It generates, I'm pretty sure, like you just put in random text here and then you generate something. Oh, let's just give it like let's give it a hash or a salt. Generate something, yeah. So it exports it in as like, this would be like a string, right? So I think that we can just do varchar here. Not null. I think that's fine. So that's what we need for the user, right? like basic user. We don't even honestly need the name field. We just need the email and the password. This is very, very, very basic. We're just going to do very basic stuff. And then we need, what else do we need? User agent. We don't need any of this stuff. We don't need this, sorry, for user. Email verify. We don't need that. Image, no. We don't need this. We don't need this. And then for the session, we're going to export const sessions table equals pg table sessions, and then we're going to do we're doing ID. Maybe we'll do an ID for each session, right? Similar. Default random. I wonder if I make the ID also the token though. Like, I wonder. Not null unique. Oh, then we reference the user ID here. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna need to obviously do that. And then so we'll do user ID is text, which I didn't know text is different from varchar. Let's actually look up the difference between text and varchar inside of I think this is Postgres, maybe specifically. So varchar is fixed length black padded character string. Okay, so it's just any characters, and then text is specifically alphanumeric. Did I miss it? Okay, I'll just variable length unlimited character. Oh, it's okay. So there's no length. So it doesn't really matter. I could do this as all text as well. I go with text for password instead of varchar. It's more future-proof since it hashes lengths can change and Postgres doesn't really give you any benefit. Yeah, that's fair. I get that. So I was just seeing. So varchar then has to be limited and it's defaulted to 255 or something, or 256 or something like that. Like there's got to be a default, right? Like what's the default varchar, right? I don't know. I'm assuming there's a default like fixed length, right? So let's do text then. But I'm assuming you still can set a limit. Maybe not. Maybe you have to use varchar if you want to do a limit. No, I appreciate that, Haxer. Oh, I'm out of water. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do one more Pomo after this break, and then I'm gonna end off stream for this evening. But it's been nice to be back. Honestly, I kind of missed it a little bit. So, yeah, I think the steps here. I kind of did have. Let me look. I did have a to-do. I did have a to-do list here, but this isn't really. Planned out the way that I want it to be. So we can kind of like plan that out here. It's project stack set up. This should be automatically completing these. Whatever. Okay. Like database auth or database config for auth tables. users and sessions tables. Okay. And then we'll get into writing the actual routes inside of the backend. But yeah, something like that. I don't know how much further we're going to get, because we need to define this. We need to generate, migrate. I also need to configure the .env as well. SQL is love, SQL is life. Yeah. I do like how SQL like this is. Like I mean syntactically not really, but like you have the same things. Like you're defining primary key. Like the successive dot iterators here kind of is like when you're defining like a SQL like table, right? Like it kind of has that feel to it, right? Here, do you want me to turn off the camera?
No, it's okay.
I turned it off.
I'm just gonna switch over here. I've given up on working on it.
All right, it's fine.
Thanks.
No problem.
You still have to.
SQL is love until someone forgets the where clause. Yeah. True. But like even doing queries, like I was looking at the query structure in Drizzle, and like I really like how easy it is. You just do, find many and then like width or like the columns that you want, you can just put here. It's kind of very like almost like JSON, right? I mean it is. It's like object based. And then your like where clause you put as another attribute. I don't know. It's kind of nice. But anyway. All right. Let's do this. Okay, so we have user ID texts. Do I need to include, why do I include text here? For that, I don't know. All right, so let's do text not null, and then references. And then you do a function, which is interesting. Property references do not exist on types. Oh, because of this. That's why. Okay. So what is the problem? Okay, and then user.id. It'd be from, is this a user table? Okay, so the table name's user, so the users.id. Users table.id. And then on delete cascade for sure. So that if a actually no, never mind. No. Or do we? Yeah, okay, so when we delete a user, it deletes its sessions. Yeah, okay, that's what we want, right? We don't want it to be the other way around. If we delete a session, we don't want to delete the user. But we want to delete the sessions if we delete the user, if that makes sense. Yes. So if we delete a session, we do not want to delete a user, which is why we don't have a reference to sessions and users. But if we delete a user, we want the session, any corresponding sessions it has, to get deleted. Good. Okay. And then, so we're going to have a token for it as well, which I guess will be a varchar. Doesn't matter how long it is. Maybe just text. I don't know. And then can we give it like not null and then unique? Or I could even make it a UUID, honestly. Or do I generate? Like, how do they generate tokens? Let's see. Actually, let's see if that says that here. Let's look up like token key. Really? Maybe it's not in here. Generate token for session-based authentication. Create session login token API. Session management. What's the best way to go about generate a token? Okay, let's see. Cryptographically signed data, either asymmetric signature algorithm. Access token, refresh token model. Well, there's the JSON web token stuff. But I want to have the session. It's not really what I want to do, man. Session login token API. Just want to know like what it should be. Oh, this is just an API, one login for generating tokens. Okay. I think, or something. Oh no, or is that JSON web token still? Yo, what's going on, Balloon? Welcome, welcome. Simple IDs are used for tokens is important. Non-deterministic generation. Because I don't want to use JSON web tokens or anything. I want to use, because it gets stored as a cookie, right? We store the session as a cookie, ideally. So we have the session here. And then I just don't know how this is implemented, that's all. Cookies, maybe? No, that's not what I want. I'll just kind of figure it out. It's not a big deal. You can even leave it as a UUID or something like that. Or let's just do text. We'll generate it inside of the backend. We'll generate the token inside of the backend. So just leave that. Use crypto package. Got you. Sounds good. And then we need an expires at time, right? We don't need the created at, updated at bullshit. We just need a timestamp. Okay, so we can go to timestamp. Should be inside of. It's not what I want. Timestamp. Okay, so we'll say created or expires at. I don't know how to make it like. from now plus an amount of time. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter because we'll do that in the back end anyway. We'll say, okay, so we'll say expires at timestamp. And then dot not null. What's this precision attribute here? There should be an attributes. That's MySQL, okay. Not default SQL now. Mode defines values are handled in the application. Values string mode are treated as string in the application. It stores timestamps in the database. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, it didn't really give me any other precision. Want to know what this is doing. Is there like an API reference? That's filters. So column types, timestamp, here we go. Okay, so there's still nothing. So timestamps with time zone. Let's do this mode. Precision. Timestamp. Oh, that is not what I wanted. Okay, well, it's not taking me anywhere. I'm just not going to worry about it. I'll just see what it's doing in... Oh, this is for Postgres specifically, actually. Okay, so it's for Postgres. Okay, I typed too fast for Brave, apparently. Okay, so precision. Timestamp interval except optional precision value P, which specifies the number of fractional digits retained in the seconds field. Oh, I see. Okay, so we're going down to the millisecond. Then we'd do 6, right? No, that'd be microsecond. Okay, that's overkill. We can just leave it empty. We can just say with time zone true, I guess. I don't know if we need all that precision. I don't know. I'll just leave it. If it breaks, then whatever. For more info, please review. Yeah, okay, so that's what it is. Well, it's doing precision 6 here. Maybe I'll, whatever. Goes to like a microsecond or whatever. Millionth of a second. Assuming that's what that means. Okay. We don't need anything else. We have a reference to the user. We have an ID for the session entry. We have a token to store. And we have an expiry time, right? I mean, we could do a created at as well. But I don't really think we need to worry about that. I'm just going to keep it simple. So now that we have these, we need to now create a we need to create a database. So let's do that. So PSQL, create database, and this isn't in Docker yet or anything like that. So we'll do BenStack v1 to do db or something. Sure, that's fine. And we'll quit out of this guy. We'll copy this. So we have our basic database, and then we'll actually. I'm just gonna do this locally, so I'm just gonna like. We'll just make a new folder or a new file. I mean, we'll just make an env here, and then it's just database URL. I think that's all we got. PostgreSQL. I think it was there's been at localhost 5432 slash BenStack v1 to do d. I think that'll work as my URL. I don't really care because it's just all local. Doesn't really matter to me. All right, so now we can generate this guy. So let's do that. We need to go back to the drizzle documentation. Okay, so generate dialects. So we have our config in here. npx drizzle kit generate schema files path. Oh, so you can include, okay, so you can include like multiple things here. So you know what we might actually want to do is instead of having everything in one schema.ts, you know what we'll do? We'll do this. We'll do a new folder schemas. And then inside that, we'll do like a user table, users dot schema. Can I do dot schema? Is that like a thing? Schema.ts, user.ts. Okay, yeah, so it'll just be users. Users.ts, and then a sessions.ts as well. And then we'll just lift and shift this into here. Then we're going to need to do all these imports, but that's fine. And we're going to export this or lift that into here, and then import. So I kind of like having these table definitions separated out. Users table imports. Okay, so that's fine. Then we can get rid of the schemas. Schema.ts, delete here, and then inside of that, so the schema would be as source slash schema slash all schemas. Or would it be schema? I guess it may be schema. Because it's one schema, multiple tables inside of one schema, right? Programming makes my head hurt. Me too, television. But you know what? It's, does working out make you tired? I think so. So that's kind of the way I look at it. All right, so we have schema, custom migration file name. That's fine. Okay, so let's generate this now. So this should work. So we'll say pnpx drizzle kit. Oh wait, I need to do this inside of packages slash db though. pnpx drizzle kit. Or actually, no, I mean, I could probably do it. I could probably just do it in the main one, but then do like pnpx filter db and then drizzle kit. I think I can do it like this. I could include a generate script as well inside of my root package JSON. So I should probably do that as well. Like I could do like a db generate, where I basically just run this, right? You making Next.js from scratch? No, making my own. Making BenStack.js. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just my own stack. But kind of. Like, I mean, I'm making my own stack from scratch. Because learning one is weird. And it was frustrating, and I feel like I'm going to learn more making my own. So, all right, drizzle kit. And then I need to generate. I think I just generate. So that I can do this. Actually, let's just do this then. PNPM run, or PNPX. Can I do PNPX inside of scripts here? I don't know. Filter db drizzle kit generate. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. This is what I need to do. PNPM run. No. Filter db generate. I can't spell. And then I need to define it inside of the db package JSON. PNPX drizzle kit generate. That's what I need to do. I think. Yeah. Okay. Quite an advanced project for a beginner. Reuse SWE in another domain. I have a CS degree television. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call myself a SWE by any means, but I was a student at one point, so I have a degree. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I have been at this as well for 6 months, so, you know, try my best. Okay. Let's see if this command works. Actually, no, because I want to just do filter no, PNPM. No, let's just do PNPM run db generate. Try it. Okay, no schema files. Interesting. Okay, so I don't think that's my issue. I think it did run it properly. So we have source. Oh, it's not in source. It's just in. We need a source file, of course. That's what we need. So we need to get a new folder, or source folder, I should say. There we go. Now we're in business. Now that should work. Still nothing. No config path provided using default. Please install the latest version of Drizzle ORM. I literally just installed it. Okay, well. PNPM update Drizzle ORM. Issues with dependencies found. Great. Unmet peer TypeScript. Oh. Does it want that installed at this level? It should share it though. I don't know. Okay, well now that we're in here, we can just do PNPX. Maybe we can't do PNPX inside of a script here. I don't know. No config path provided. Why? I literally do have one. drizzle.config.ts. Interesting. Has to be less than 6.1. You have 7.02. You should be able to add an override. Oh. Wait, where are you seeing that? Oh, this. Oh, for TypeScript. That's with the peers check. Okay. Is that affecting this though, you think? I wonder. If we can generate this, I'm gonna generate this this database and then we'll call it a night. I have no idea. Yeah, okay. No config path provided. Okay, wait, so maybe we did, maybe we need to do something first. Do we have drizzle kit? We should, like our package, we have drizzle kit here. Drizzle ORM 1.0.0 release 4. Or RC, what's RC stand for? I don't know. Release candidate, maybe? Yeah, so drizzle kit generate. Oh, it's PNPM. It's not PNPX. Dude, I wish I knew that. Looks like that worked. Looks like that worked. So it's PNPM, not PNPX. I'm silly. But it's NPX, but not PNPX. Aha. All right, so now we need to migrate it. Or can I push it? I guess I can push it. Let's push your drizzle schema to database either upon declaration. Or do I need to do migrate? I don't know. Might have to dabble with drizzle. They seem to have made some upgrades since I last looked at it. Yeah. I honestly, I'm not going to lie, Jay. I watched when I was sick, I watched 8 YouTube videos on drizzle versus Prisma. And I was convinced by the tech bros on YouTube to go with drizzle. Especially Web Dev Simplified because I don't know, I'm a fan of him. So, but yeah, no, I was convinced. I was converted. And they were like, "Oh, Prisma is older. It's more bloated. Drizzle's the new kid on the block. It's a lot lighter. Drizzle's really popular on YouTube." Yeah, I was influenced. Let's just put it that way. But that's nothing against Prisma, and I probably will use Prisma again in the future. It's not it's nothing against any tool, right? It's just trying different things out, right? Migrate. So let's try this. Connection URL host. Either connection URL or host database are required. Okay, so this obviously can't find the database, right? Which should be in here. Query client. Export DB. Oh, because I'm not maybe trying to. Migrate. Oh, DB credentials. Okay. So I need the DB credentials there. What's this client for then? This is for the client, but I need to actually put that in here. Okay. So let's do that then. So let's do DB credentials. URL is process.env.database URL. Doesn't like that very much. Or does that need to be above it or something? No. Define config. Did I misspell it? Credentials. No. Migrations. Oh, maybe I need to also include a migrations as well, if I'm doing that. Or something. Or no, I don't think so. So why is this mad at me? Types of property, string undefined and undefined. Oh, because it needs to be this. That's why. Because it was this type was undefined. The whole thing goes red. Okay. This is bad practice. Bad. Don't do this. But I'm doing this just for testing because I know this. No, I know it's defined here, right? So it's just local. Okay, it should be defined. Please provide required params. Oh, so maybe it can't read process env. Let's debug this. Tiny irrelevant. Relevant. Tiny invariant is a good package for checking env variables. Got you. I'll actually make a note of that right now. Tiny invariants. Checking package for checking env variables. Perfect. Okay, I just want to get this. I want to get this migrated, and then we'll see. So I want to see if this even produces anything. Undefined, yeah, okay, so it is undefined. I wonder why. Do I need to have .env? I don't know. We'll figure that out after. I'm just gonna put this directly in here. And we'll just put a db URL. Let's see if this works. Failed query, alter table sessions, add constraint sessions, URLs, delete cascade params. Key columns, user ID of the referencing table and ID of the referencing table are incompatible types, text and UUID. Oh. Yeah, okay. So that needs to be, I need to fix this. This needs to be a UUID as well. Yes, perfect. Okay. It should have been fine. Oh, because I need to generate it first. pnpm run generate. Okay, and then pnpm. And actually, I'm going to add that as a command in here as well. So generate, and then we have migrate, which is pnpm drizzlekit migrate. So then pnpm run migrate. Still nothing. Text and UUID types are still the same. Why? It should have been. Is there a not null consideration here? It's still saying text and UUID is the problem. But I changed the schema. ID, UUID, email, password, text, UUID. Try deleting your migrations and try running again. Okay. So I just delete these then. All right. Generate first. Ah, perfect. Thanks, Jay. Nice. Cool. So now, if we check our database, We have our sessions and users table. Nice, dude. Good stuff. All right, so we migrated the database over, which is good. So we can now finish this off. Database config for auth, users, and sessions tables is complete. I'll come up with more tasks to do for the next stream. But honestly, the main thing I wanted to do for this stream was to get the BenStack finished. Literally the BenStack. Where was it? Here it was. Right? And we did that. So you low-key just discovered why running migrations are a pain, especially in prod. Well, there we go. So now I won't do that. I feel like you need to migrate the first time though, right? So anyway, that's good. So we have this. I'm gonna iterate on this. I'm gonna add a change log as well as upcoming features before next stream, because I wanna actually maintain this a little bit for myself and for others if anyone wants to use it. Again, is it really like, does it do all these things for you? No, it's very, very minimal. It's very, very, probably not put together very well, but you know what? It's mine. And I understand every part of it, which is what I think matters the most. And I don't have to go and understand, somebody else's implementation or whatever it is. The other benefit is now that if I go through this process of building my own stack, which, by the way, off stream, I spent probably, I want to say 3 or 4 hours thinking about this and setting this up, mostly because I did it mostly before I came back. Maybe even more than that, maybe like 5 or 6 hours. I don't know. Setting this up and then finishing it off on this comeback stream here. So then hopefully, the next few streams will be building this to-do app. Probably the next 5 streams, something like that. And then we're gonna get back into the. And then if there's anything that I need to change, I'll update my stack, and then I'm going to use the BenStack for the file uploader app, and we're going to get right back into that, and then continue on, finish off Odin Project. I want to finish off Odin Project maybe by the end of. No, I say the end of I was saying the end of July, the end of August. It'll probably realistically be in the fall that I'll finish it. All things considered, but things happen, right? But it's good. I'm still making progress. This is also a lesson that things take twice as long as you expect them to. But that's okay, right? So anyway, thank you all for watching the stream. I'll be live again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Join the Discord if you want stream updates, and see you all around.